I'm Dave Jensch. Michelle Lee has the night off. Next on your 6 o'clock news, a deadly day on the roads. A child has died after being struck by a garbage truck outside of a community center in Duluth. We'll have a live report from the scene. Meanwhile, a car semi-crash in Twig has claimed the life of a Twig man, and a half year has gone by since the Channel 6 building went up in flames. You'll find out what's happened since and what's expected to happen shortly. The Channel 6 o'clock news is next.
Live from Channel 6, you're watching the #1 news at 6 o'clock with Michelle Lee, Dave Jensch, Tom Hansen, and meteorologist George Kessler. Now the Channel 6 o'clock news.
Good evening. It's been a deadly day on local roadways, and one of the victims is a child. A Zenith Kramer garbage truck backed over a little boy this afternoon in a western Duluth neighborhood, killing the 6-year-old instantly. Maureen Talarico joins us live from the scene with details. Maureen, what can you tell us now?
Well, Dave, we're at the corner of 81st and Coleman Street where the accident occurred, and as you can see, there is major road construction going on here as part of the city's street improvement plan. Now, residents in this area have been concerned about their children's safety because all the sidewalks and roadways have been torn up, and they were afraid that an accident might occur. Today, they say their worst fears have come true.
Not done to the park, and they had talked about the garbage trucks before backing down, how fire trucks are supposed to get in there. There's no sidewalk for the kids to ride on over there, but yet they're way down they're down 3 blocks doing work when they should be finishing this up when it's so close to the park, you know, as they go along. Now, a very beautiful young child has died, you know, and it's my son's good friend, and I'm very upset.
Mike Hay says residents were told this would never happen when the street project began. But he's been concerned ever since the sidewalks and roadways were torn up that a tragedy like this could occur. Police and chaplains were on the scene as the boy's mother arrived and had the grave task of telling her about the accident, then trying in desperation to console her and her other child any way they could. Mike Haig says the little boy played with his child was his best friend. Now this father has to tell his son his best friend has died.
You know, it could have been him, and I don't even know what to say to his mom or nothing, you know. Something's got to change, that's all.
Now, Dave, the entire Norton Park community focuses here behind me at this Norton Park Community Center. As you can see, there's lots of children and parents playing in the sandboxes there and on the jungle gyms, even having a softball game here tonight. This area residents here are very concerned about all the activities going on in the park so close to the road construction. Dave?
Maureen, this has got to be tough on people in that neighborhood, but can you tell, do they have any options? Is there any way to get to that community center without putting kids at risk in a construction zone?
Well, that's a difficult thing because this road over here, right next to the park, is completely impassable. It's completely blocked off and torn up. The road that we're standing on right here also has several construction, you know, you can tell it's under construction. There's huge tracks from tires in it. And then this road over here, there's a large pile of dirt and gravel right there. And so really the only road that doesn't have construction is a dead end. And so there's not much that you can do to get to this park without having to go through some sort of construction. Now, whether or not the city will hustle this project along and get it done so more tragedies can be avoided, we'll have to wait and see. Dave?
Thanks, Maureen. Live out in Norton Park in the western part of Duluth. Meanwhile, a Twig man is dead following a car semi-collision this morning on Highway 53 in Twig. Investigators say the victim pulled out from County Road 7 and got broadsided by the semi. He died at the scene. The truck driver was not injured. The crash remains under investigation. An investigation into a fatal train pedestrian crash near Virginia shows the victim was at fault. 19-year-old Dallas Lee Manning died after being struck by a train on Duluth, Winnipeg, and Pacific tracks north of Virginia. Investigators say Manning and another man were walking on the tracks when the train came. The other man was able to jump out of the way. Construction is underway on a 456-mile pipeline running between Superior and Chicago. The new Lakehead-owned pipeline will carry 170,000 barrels of Canadian crude from the Twin Ports to Chicago area refineries. The pipeline was opposed by some who fear environmental damage from possible leaks. Lakehead Pipeline still needs to get permits from some counties in Illinois, but the company says it's just a matter of time before they get approval. For areas of Duluth with contaminated soils, help is on the way. A $350,000 loan fund has been granted to Duluth by the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency. The funds are available to any site with contaminated ground. Mayor Gary Doty hopes cleaning up contaminated areas will attract new businesses to the community.
It's very important that we don't wait that long. We don't have time to wait that long. We're running out of sites in our community, and we run out of sites. We have no place to expand, and our community stands still, and we cannot afford to have that happen.
The cleanup fund will be distributed in the form of loans to analyze and remove any pollutants from contaminated areas. Well, 6 months ago, Channel 6 lost our home in downtown Duluth to fire. The blaze gutted the newsroom and did major damage to the rest of the building. Well, a lot of changes came out of that disaster, and now, a year and a half later, Barbara Reyelts brings us up to date.
December 14th, 1997. It was a long night for firefighters and Channel 6 employees. We watched as an explosion ripped through the building, sending glass and other debris flying. The damage was extensive.
It had started in the ceiling between the basement, where our news operation is, and the first floor, which is Superior Street level.
We brought you the details of the fire early that morning from our unheated transmitter building on the hill.
Happy employment is pretty much toast.
Shortly after that, we moved into a temporary newsroom here in this mobile office next to WDSE on the UMD campus. This is News Central. Our reporters put their stories together here for our multiple daily broadcasts.
The double-wide trailer works well while we search for a permanent new home.
We have several options. The one that's gotten the most attention lately is the GE Supply building down in Canal Park. We're obviously interested in that site. It's a nice location.
These design drawings show what Channel 6 would look like if we chose the option of the GE building in Canal Park. Our design must fit the strict rules for buildings in this part of Duluth. Meanwhile, our old building at 230 East Superior Street sits empty.
But the old building, if everything goes according to what my hopes and plans are, that we would sell it, see if there would be someone who would be interested in buying it.
Wilmers continues to negotiate with the insurance company and expects a decision on our permanent location to be made within 3 to 4 weeks. Once the choice is made, renovation will begin immediately, and it'll be about a year before we move in. From the UMD campus, Barbara Reyelts, Channel 6 News.
General Manager Bob Wilmers is meeting with the Canal Park Design Review Committee tomorrow to discuss potential plans for that GE building's remodeling. Well, up next, the countdown to Grandma's 98. Speaking of Canal Park, tonight we'll take you behind the scenes to see what it takes to make the big marathon a reality. And sunshine finally became a reality over the weekend. Georgia was great, but what's it look like up ahead?
Well, David, I'll tell you what, that sunshine is now beginning to turn up some showers and thunderstorms around the region, a few of which have become severe. When we come back, we'll have a look not only where the severe thunderstorms are occurring, which is in Itasca County, but at the forecast for the entire work week. We'll have it all when we come back.